everybody. It's Stewart A. Swerdlow.
And Janet Diane Moria Swerdlow.
And this is the Expansions News Podcast for the middle of March 2017. That's it? Okay.
It is.
Okay. So, I have a couple of interesting stories for you about truth. Truth.
Pale orange is truth.
Now, you know, people, that the media has been saying that the Russians sabotaged the election by doing something to the Democratic Party, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, here's the story. The CIA has stolen spying techniques from Russia that allow it to carry out false flag attacks which fool the targets into thinking they've been hacked by the Kremlin.
And so they're going to tell all these secret things to the public, right?
Well, the CIA hackers have learned to leave fingerprints which could implicate others. Well, I believe that. That's actually an old story. In the CIA, there's a subgroup called Umbrage, U-M-B-R-A-G-E, all capital letters, that have collected data on Russian techniques, and because they were accused of interfering with the U.S. elections, and they learned how to adopt the fingerprints of other intelligence services so that you think the Russians did something, but it really wasn't the Russians, it was somebody else. In this case, the Americans. Now, it also revealed that the intelligence services could break into your phones, computers, and TVs, and said the CIA was able to frame foreign spies and hackers for its own operations. So in other words, the CIA was doing something and framing other people saying that they did it.
No. So that's what they do.
That's not very nice. That's not how you play nice with others, CIA, is it? No. Anyway, it says the Umbrage subgroup of the CIA's Remote Development Branch collected all this hacking techniques from other powers, especially Russia and China.
So it's so secret that they're telling everybody.
And the WikiLeaks website specifically named the Russian Federation as one of the bodies that was infiltrated by American spies. Well, duh. And they are guilty of carrying out hacks, which are in fact the work of the CIA. Well, isn't that a surprise?
Well, I guess that's what they want people to know. It's part of the story.
And Julian Assange, whatever you think of him, I think that he's, mostly telling the truth, has previously said he is 1,000% certain that Russia did not carry out the hacking operations during elections, and I agree with that.
Well, it doesn't matter. Trump was elected because he was planned to be elected.
Yeah. But, remember a few weeks ago we did the story on the fake votes, like the 2.5 million people who don't exist.
Yeah, but the votes don't count anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Right, but the thing is they can use it as a backup.
Yeah. For to who?
And it says investigators are now carrying out a massive operation, listen to this, to find out who released these documents, and they are likely to face a long jail term if caught. So here's my translation. If you tell the truth, that equals jail. So they want to know who revealed the truth so they can put them in jail.
Well,
brilliant.
But it sounds good to the public.
They should give them an award and say, thank you for telling people so we know how to correct the situation.
Yeah, but it's part of the script. I mean, it's not new. It's just part of the script, so make the masses think certain ways.
Now here's another duh story. Germany has demanded answers from the U.S. over claims that there is a CIA listening post in Frankfurt. Here's my thing. Duh! There's a CIA listening post every frickin' where. Not only in Germany, but all over Europe and the world. Like, why is this a surprise?
It's probably in everybody's house and home and computer and television
and the files show that the CIA used the U.S. consulate in Frankfurt as a remote hacking base. Like, is that a surprise? Check Munich, Berlin, Hamburg. Hello.
Well, I remember when you were in Iceland at the consulate there, remember?
Oh, yes. When I had a dinner at the U.S. Embassy with the U.S. ambassador and his wife, which, by the way, the U.S. ambassador was from Guatemala. the U.S. ambassador to Iceland was from Guatemala who spoke Spanish to me. Brilliant. And his wife sits next to me and says to me like this, "You can say anything here. There's no listening devices." Oh, really? I'm in a U.S. embassy speaking to the ambassador's wife and there's no listening devices? I'm so shocked.
And she even told you.
Yeah, and like, tell me anything. Really? Seriously. I mean, people, you can't make this stuff up. Anyway, the documents allegedly come from the CIA Center for Cyber Intelligence, which operates from Langley, Virginia, and, what do you think, and? Frankfurt, Germany. Okay, so why would the CIA Center for Cyber Intelligence operate out of Frankfurt, Germany? CIA, U.S., Frankfurt, does that... Very strange. And they said this could represent a huge new embarrassment to U.S. intelligence. Like they give a damn. Like they're embarrassed. Oh, we're so embarrassed that you found out we're spying on you. Anyway, there was an arrest last year of an NSA, that's the National Security Agency, or what they call no such agency, NSA.
That's like Janet Airlines.
Right,
No
which we know does exist, which is named after you.
Yes.
Which goes from Las Vegas to Area 51 to people. Anyway, the NSA official was arrested for removing massive amounts of top secret material to his home over 20 years. Wow, they have great security at the NSA. 20 years of removing massive amounts of... Perfect. We should have total confidence in them. And it shows that the CIA is now rivaling the NSA, which I do find hard to believe, because CIA can't find their way out of a paper bag, and that the U.S. government's main electronic spying body is using cyber warfare with less oversight. Documents show, now this is interesting, people, the CIA has produced more than 1,000 malware systems, including viruses and trojans and other software, that can infiltrate and take control of personal electronics.
And they're telling us this why?
Wait. They have targeted iPhones, Android systems, personal phones, even the ones used by President Donald Trump, and even have connections to Microsoft software, Samsung smart TVs, and can transform it into convert microphones. Covert. So there's no privacy, and it's not a surprise.
No, we all know all that anyway.
And I just want to go to another story, which is out of sequence, but I have to tell you because in addition to this, FBI Director James Comey warned that Americans should not have expectations of absolute privacy. Duh! Another duh! And he said he planned to finish his entire term at the FBI. FBI, of course, Federal Bureau of Investigation. I have other words for it, but I can't say it on this.
No, we always just assume everybody's watching everybody, so
anyway,
that's why we just do what we need to do and move along.
So anyway, the FBI director said, and I quote, "There is no such thing as absolute privacy in America. I'm shocked. There's no place outside of judicial reach." So he's telling you what I've told you for 20, 30 years.
That's why I like to go up in the Italian Alps, because it's granite and there's no ELF that can penetrate up there.
He says, even our communications with our spouses, with our clergy members, with our attorneys are not absolutely private in America. In appropriate circumstances, a judge can compel any one of us to testify in court about those very private communications. This is from the FBI director. He also says, now this is where it's good cop, bad cop. Now he says, it's a vital part of being an American. The government cannot invade our privacy without good reason. But you just said they do. So what's the good reason?
Well, I guess you don't know it until it's been invaded.
In the last 4 months of 2016, the FBI, again, lawfully gained access to 2,800 devices recovered in criminal, terrorism, and counterintelligence investigations. But here's the interesting part. The FBI was unable to open 43% of those devices. Well, good for those people.
Well, maybe they're just making that up, so to speak, to make you feel like you still have a sense
And
of
here's
security,
here's his little
privacy.
here's his little finger.
You're not supposed to do that.
I had an itch on my nose. He said that he plans to finish out his 10-year term, and I quote, "You're stuck with me for about another 6.5 years, and so I'd love to be invited back again." Okay, after you just told me that I have no privacy and you get all my I want you back? Really? What drugs are you on?
No, people, we're so used to it, we really don't care.
Anyway, I have to tell some bad news to people in California.
Why? Is that more earthquake stuff?
No. Because it's new.
New?
Yes. A fault system in Southern California has been mapped in detail to reveal that it is more extensive and interconnected than realized and capable of causing larger earthquakes. Again, duh.
No, maybe they're reading.
Where have you heard that before, people?
I think they're reading your stuff.
The system runs from San Diego Bay to Seal Beach in Orange County. I had a great Mexican restaurant in Seal Beach once.
You had a great Mexican
Yeah,
restaurant?
I ate there. It was like right on the pier.
There's a Seal Beach in Oregon. I've been there.
Yeah. And it goes to the Los Angeles Basin. It's called the Newport-Inglewood Fault and the Rose Canyon Fault. That's like one name.
Rose?
Mm-hmm. The connections, like there are fault lines, and then there's these connections between the fault lines, and they're called stepovers. This is a stepover between the fault lines. Okay, so between the main parts of the faults are less. If these connections are less than 2 kilometers wide, a stepover is a section between the faults, and they don't meet directly because it's these connections. So the smaller the stepover, the more likely that a rupture from one fault line can jump to the other fault line. Mm-hmm. If the stepover is more than 3 kilometers wide, it can stop the ruptures because it absorbs the shock. But if it's smaller, it makes it go through. So there are 3 stepovers that link the 4 parts of the Newport-Inglewood and Rose Canyon fault system, which makes them unlikely to be able to stop an earthquake from spreading throughout the whole freaking system. And as a result, the earthquake triggered could be up to 7.4, which that's what they're saying, so that means like 9.4.
So is this just up and down the coast, or is this like all over into the interior of the U.S.?
It's from San Diego to L.A., the whole
So if that happened, would it go into the interior?
Yes, that's what they're saying. It's like it's just going to spread, and that's like, bye, California, bye. Yeah.
I hope they enjoy it while they're there.
Well, I told them, my conscience is clear. I've told them to get the hell out of there. They don't want to. That's their stuff. You know why? Because they're like, la, 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 la.
California is an extremely beautiful state. There's no question about
Remember
that.
the people I knew in San Luis Obispo? And I called them, there was an earthquake. And I said, oh, did you feel the earthquake? No, we were like jumping up and down maybe. Oh, is it jumping up and down time? I missed that. And that really happened. Remember?
I remember. But as I said, California is a very beautiful state.
Yeah. However, the people in it are like, yeah. Anyway, well, they live there, Obama.
Again, I thought he was gone.
But he's not.
Gone, but not forgotten.
So, here's my point. Those of you who don't like Trump, because you listen to the CNN and all the other stories about him and evil things about all these things and how he's terrible and all this, listen to what Obama's half-brother said. And he's called, his name is Malik.
Doesn't he live in Kenya?
Well, he's an American citizen.
Oh.
Yes.
Wonder how that happened.
They call him the attention-seeking half-brother of Obama. But you know what he did this week? He posted online Obama's Kenyan birth certificate and declared support for Trump in what they are calling a series of bizarre and bitter tweets. I like bitter tweets because they have the orange in them with the chocolate bitter tweets. Anyway, his name is Malik Obama. And according to the news, this birth certificate is forged, even though it's stamped and legitimate. The forged one is the one from Hawaii that they had the name of the hospital that didn't exist when he was born.
But maybe he has dual citizenship with U.S. and Kenya.
Well,
and I know he does with Indonesia. Maybe he has triple citizenship.
Malik Obama tweeted the copy and claims that it's a valid birth certificate and proves that Barack Obama was born in Mombasa, Kenya. The birth certificate bears the letterhead of the Coast Province General Hospital in Mombasa, which is the name of Kenya before it was given independence from Britain.
What was it used to be called?
It was Coast Province.
And that's what the name of the country was?
It was a British Coast Province of blah, 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 whatever. Now, the U.S. Constitution does not permit citizens who were born abroad to attain presidency.
Oh, we know that.
So, in fact, he was an illegal president.
Too late now.
Yeah. And Malik has previously chided Barack for not doing enough to help his Kenyan relatives. He says, and I quote, "I'm very proud of my brother, but I would like for him to do a little bit more for the family on this side. I would like to say he could send some money. I give money when asked. That's what family is for. We're not well off, though people think we are." And it's been speculated that Malik Obama is angry with Barack because of the actions the U.S. took in Libya, because Malik Obama was friends with Colonel Gaddafi.
I wonder if Malia was named after Malik.
Malia.
Malia?
Yes.
And Malik. It's pretty close.
I thought she was named after the African country of Mali.
I don't know. Could be both, because actually I think she is a he. But go ahead.
All right. And Malik Obama said that Barack's real father was a prominent communist named Frank Marshall Davis.
Really? This isn't.
I've heard this
new.
before.
Really?
I even heard also Malcolm X. And
yeah, that I had heard.
So, Barack Obama is a fake. Okay?
No, we know.
And all these people who are commenting about Trump and all that, you know what? You may not like what Trump says, but that's what most people think. Now, people are upset about Trump because of all this visa, blocking the visas of the Muslim countries. But did you know about Barack Obama deported 3 million people?
No, they don't tell you that.
In fact, Barack Obama deported more than any president ever. And they used to call him, behind the scenes, Deporter-in-Chief. Okay, so you want to make comments about Trump? Look up your little friend before him. And they said that Obama loved to pretend that he was only deporting criminals. The truth is very different. Over half of all immigrants deported under Obama had no criminal convictions. And it said he was that Obama was, they used to make that he was against killing and he was very reluctant. He wanted peace, not war, but it was the opposite. Obama, while he was president, was at war longer than any president in U.S. history, and is the only president to have served 2 whole terms with America at war.
And the other thing is, and I had on my Facebook page about how, under his jurisdiction, his 8 years, of how many people were killed every single day, and I can't remember.
I'm going to get to that.
Oh, you have that? Okay, because that was pretty amazing.
Because in 2016, U.S. special operations were active in 70% of the world's nations, or 138 countries, which is a 130% increase over the Bush administration. In the same year, Obama ordered his military to drop 26,171 bombs. That's 72 per day, or 3 every hour.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's peaceful Barack Obama, who loves everybody.
Well, they gave him the Nobel Peace Prize, remember?
Yeah.
So maybe it was for all his bomb dropping. Maybe they were peace bombs.
And they're calling him Bomber Barack, and he deliberately targeted Muslims. Obama ordered 10 times more drone strikes than George Bush.
No, they had 10 times more drones with Obama.
His administration laughably tried to claim only 117 civilians died during his bombing, which is an obvious lie. Okay? So Obama killed a lot of innocent people, but prefers that we don't know anything about it.
So how do we find this out then?
Because
you have your sources?
I got my peeps. Yes. And it's on the, you'll get the link. He allowed President Assad to use chemical weapons and empowered both Assad and Vladimir Putin to weaken America. And he broke all his election pledges in 2008 to shut Guantanamo Bay, which he didn't. It's still open after 8 years and remains a disgrace to everything, with illegal detention and torture, and makes a mockery of Obama's claim to stand for justice and fairness. He does not.
How did he get this Peace Prize thing, the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah, how? Good question. Same way that America is safe from, your iPhone is safe. Broken promises is a theme of Obama's tenure. Under him, under Obama, 250,000 people in America died from gun violence. 250,000 people. That's like almost the population of Iceland.
A lot of people in America every day.
Yes. There have been more than 180 shootings at schools and colleges in the U.S. alone, since Sandy Hook alone. And Obama promised to bring hope and change to Washington, but again, failed.
Well, that's what he promised out loud, but
wait,
not
it gets
what he
more.
did.
Drug abuse in America, particularly involving opiates, rocketed to obscene levels during Obama's administration. Racial tensions, especially between police and civilians, worsened to levels not seen since the 1960s.
It was purposefully orchestrated.
Okay. Yeah, we're all so sorry to see him go. He was so wonderful. Violent crime, which was on a downward curve for several decades, spiked 15% under Obama.
Yeah, I had read that too.
And under Obama, the Justice Department and FBI spied on reporters by monitoring their phone records and pursued Fox reporter James Rosen's private emails and then misled Congress about it. His administration set a record for failing to provide information requested by the press and under the Freedom of Information Act. And the Obama administration used the Espionage Act to prosecute whistleblowers more than all of his predecessors combined. And veteran New York Times reporter James Risen said, Obama's administration was, and I quote, the greatest enemy of press freedom that we have encountered in the last generation.
And they're trying to make Trump look that way.
And that's why when Trump said that the media is the enemy of the people, he's right. They are the enemy of the people. Obama, by contrast, seems to be bent on bringing Trump down. A close Obama family friend said last week that Obama's goal now was to oust Trump by forcing his resignation or through his impeachment. And he turned his new home in Washington, D.C., just 2 miles from the White House, into a nerve center for mounting insurgency against Trump, even moving his longtime consigliere, Valerie Jarrett, into the mansion. Well, I'm sure Michelle must be thrilled about that one.
Well, maybe it's a three-way thing.
You get that YBRTCH out of here right now.
Might be a three-way relationship. We don't know these days.
Obama is gay and she's a tranny. Hello. Anyway, they call him Saint Obama, but he's against monster Trump. This is, these are the behind-the-scenes stuff. And it shows that Obama was a press freedom destroying and generally weak president.
Well, he wasn't weak because he accomplished whatever his handlers wanted him to accomplish.
So there you have it, people. And I didn't even get to Michelle yet.
All right. So do you have other news?
Well, personally, but not for the public.
Okay. So it's my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't have a lot, so you had a lot more today, so I guess that balances us out. Anyway, I think last time it was that I was telling you about the continent that they found under New Zealand.
Zealandia.
Yeah. Now they're
Yeah.
talking about a lost continent discovered beneath Mauritius in the Indian Ocean.
Mauritia.
It says Mauritius.
Yeah, but what they call them, the continent.
Oh, the continent, yeah, Mauritia.
Get it?
Yeah. But listen
They're
to this.
so original.
But listen to this. It says it's estimated to have broken off from Gondwana,
Gondwana, she lived down a block.
the ancient supercontinent that broke into distinct land masses, forming what is now referred to as the continents of Africa, Australia, Antarctica, India, and South America.
Okay, let's translate. Lemuria, hello.
But the thing is I never heard of an ancient supercontinent called Gondwana.
Because it didn't exist.
I know, but they write in here in this whole article like I should know this. And I never heard of Gondwana.
No, because it doesn't exist. It's a fantasy that these scientists created to explain things that they don't understand.
But now we have one under New Zealand.
Right, that doesn't exist.
And we have now one under Mauritius,
which also was all part of Lemuria.
So I think this is interesting because they're telling you now about all these continents that are under the ground. First of all, they tell us about Yellowstone, which is a super volcano, which I wasn't raised knowing that way.
I told you that a long time ago.
Caldera. And now we're learning about all these hidden continents, so I thought that was interesting. And then this was following along Mauritius because I know you want to know this.
I think Mauritius and Gondwana got married like a couple years ago.
Anyway, what's interesting about this is because, of course, my last name, maiden name, Moore, because of the Moors.
Moria.
So listen to this.
Yeah.
Among the Moors, an ethnic group, they are an ethnic group, domestic violence is seen as an act of love. And mothers encourage their daughters to marry into families with a history of violence against women.
Oh, but this is why they're not a major world power.
Salimata, a 19-year-old Mauritian woman, said that her mother encouraged her to find a violent husband, saying that that was a sign of love. And the mother said, quote, "You're a daughter of a woman whose husband broke her hands. Your grandmother's legs were fractured by her husband. You must be loved." So Salimata said she taught herself to see her husband's cruelty as a sign for love.
Oh my God.
She said, "As time passed, I came to believe that my husband beats me only when he is at the peak of his love for me."
That's like Lucy and Ricky.
And for most Moor women, being beaten by one's husband is part of the community's tradition, and the victim often finds pleasure in sharing her experience with other women in order to brag about her husband's love for her.
What would you do if I ever did anything slightly like that? What happened to me?
You would be dead.
I would be dead.
Yeah. So the point being is we're talking about this domestic violence amongst women in a lot of cultures. Here, the women are basically saying that it's okay.
Oh my goodness.
And the other thing, there was several weeks, maybe a few months ago, I posted here, even in the U.S., that there was a woman blogger who was blogging about this exact same thing in the U.S. A young woman, remember?
Right, that it meant that her boyfriend loved her when he beat her up.
Yes, and that she actually had a following like that. So, why are they putting this out there? I think we need to continue to watch this story because I think there's more to it.
That's sick.
Yes, but, again, that's, unfortunately, all this kind of stuff is out there for reasons. And now this actually was an interesting story because this is about designer vagina treatment.
You watch your potty mouth.
Now, that's not potty mouth. A woman's private parts are not part of a potty mouth. Anyway, the interesting thing to me is that women have been having vaginal treatments for many years, bit after childbirth, because that does things to their private parts.
Yeah.
But now, instead of just saying that, this is happening, they're now calling it a designer thing, like it's desirable and fashionable.
What is desirable? I don't understand.
To have your vagina treated.
Oh, to have it like redesigned.
Right. But it's the same thing that women have been having done for decades.
So it's like you go to Vaginas R Us
Maybe.
And they fix it.
But it says that used to be performed by a gynecologist or a plastic surgeon. It says in a 2-hour procedure if you have it done privately. But now it says with 100,000 patients worldwide undergoing, again, designer vagina procedures.
Designer vagina.
Just in 2015 alone. Now they're claiming that this procedure is set to move from the realm
Do they do that in Regina?
Of serious surgery to a mainstream aesthetic treatment. So again, it's just like there are sometimes that people need repairs for a variety of reasons, but now they're saying, hey, let's hop on the table and let's cut away.
I think we should open up a business in Regina, Saskatchewan, and call it Vagina Designer of Regina.
And now this was also kind of interesting, considering what I've been talking about lately about the U.S. Air Force, because apparently there was an email sent to the airmen at the Joint Base in San Antonio, Texas, outlining certain words that they should not use. Now, I will just preface what I'm going to tell you first, because the Air Force Base was contacted, and they claim that it's not a ban on these words, but it's suggesting that airmen not use it.
And what are the words?
The words are boy, girl, blackmail, blacklist, you people, because there might be like aliens and animals.
So if I have a little blank and another little blank children, I can't call them that?
I guess not. And colonial, and phrases like blondes have more fun.
You can't say that.
Well, they're recommending that you don't, because they want you to be respectful of others. So, you know, these are
if
just...
I was blonde, which I might have been at one time, I'd be happy to have more fun as people saying that.
Well, I'm just telling you, you know, it's craziness out there. So, with that going on, I want to remind people, because last time we talked about my trip to Italy, the Waldensian trip, that we wrote about Waldensians in this book, The True World History, Humanity's Saga. So if you've not read this book, I suggest you get it. And again, a lot of pictures in here.
But no vaginas in there.
Well, I don't know. There's even a chapter in about the Moors.
There are?
Yeah. So anyway, lots of good information in here that you might not know. And this, if you've not read Blue Blood, this has become like a classic. It's out there. So this one kind of built on this book. So I'll put it behind. But these two books are great. And then, so I'm going to remind you, if you think you're programmed, which most of you are, you want to read 13 Cubed and True Reality of Sexuality. These two books also make a great pair. And then the White Owl Legends, which is an archetypal story of creation, which actually came to us via a woman that my father knew back
in Seattle.
Yeah, back in the early 1900s.
Well, mid
1950s, 1948, somewhere in there. It was a while now. So anyway, this chief used to write in smoke for this woman, and then she would translate the stories, which we got, and then when you held the book, you connected to both of those frequencies and you translated it. So this is a very fascinating book. So all of these are great to add to your library. White Owl Legends, amazing book. These two, if you're interested specifically in programming, 13 Cube, True Reality of Sexuality. And then, of course, here we have True World History, Humanity's Saga, and Blue Blood if you're interested in True World History and not the lies that they teach you in school. Pale Orange for Truth. Okay, what do we got? We have our webinars ongoing, the Self-Healing Group. Great group of people we have. And you can join at any time, every time a new session starts. We just have a couple left for the season. Then we also have the group blogging fast that we're doing. And people are getting a lot of information out of that. It's about the mind, not the body. It has nothing to do with weight loss. It has to do with control of your mind and getting your body to mind your mind. Okay?
That was very confusing.
Yeah, but it's the truth. And then in April, you're going to be traveling again.
Oh, I'm traveling this month too.
Yes, but we can't tell them about that because they can't come.
They can't come.
Yeah, and that's actually in Africa, but you can't go. It's a private thing.
So I'm being indoctrinated, inducted into a private African tribe.
Yeah. And so in April, then you'll be in Poland and Germany. That is public. Well, except I think maybe all the personal consultation spots are
Everything's booked already.
And of course, those will be done in English with translation. So if you're in Europe, you can still go.
Yeah.
We encourage you to go and attend. I don't know if your consultations in Germany are filled yet. I know the Polish ones are. So if you're close to Germany, you might want to go there. Then I mentioned my June trip to Italy. And that you want to sign up right away. April 30th is the closing date. We have our first vehicle filled. If I have to rent another one, I'm not sure if we have enough people, so you have to put your name on a waiting list now. Okay, because you missed the first boat, so to speak. Now you're in the second boat. Okay?
It's not a boat, it's a van.
Vehicle, because we go in the mountains, and then we can't take a boat.
You're going to confuse these people because
they're confusable.
They're not that smart.
Because they need these books. So you're not so confusable. Okay? Yeah. Then, what do we got? Then you're going to Nevis in the Caribbean for all kinds of secret activities.
Butthead and Nevis.
So if you are interested in seeing Stewart in June in the Caribbean, then you need to go onto our site and you need to get yourself registered, right? In personal consultations there, or you have time?
I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly.
I'm meeting with a lot of world leaders, actually.
That's what I hear. So we'll see if he has time or not if you happen to make it there. Then, of course, we have our September Spectacular here in St. Joseph, the first part of September. That's why we call it September Spectacular, right? Some people make payment plans on these week-long classes. If you're interested in coming, you want a payment plan, contact Patricia at customersupport.com as soon as possible.
Customer support at expansions.com.
Customer support at expansions.com. Patricia. And then the end of September and into October, we have our magical bus tour. Is that what we call it? Mystical magical bus tour.
It's a yellow bus.
Yeah. I don't know if it's yellow. Oh. But it's going to start in El Paso, Texas, go into New Mexico, and we're going to be seeing Roswell and the Roswell UFO Museum.
Oh, but it actually goes first to Texas, southern.
Well, because we're in El Paso.
To Martha.
Martha Lights.
Martha Lights. Not Martha, Martha.
Martha.
Where these strange lights appear in the evening and no one can explain them. And then we go to Carlsbad Cavern.
Oh yeah, that's I'm excited for. And we're going to be going through a lot of Native American Indian territory. So who knows what mystical things will happen.
We might see a chupacabra.
We might, or a skinwalker.
Or both.
Or all of it. Anyway, so we have a lot of things planned. Be sure you like our Facebook pages.
Oh, and if you sign up this month.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. For the bus tour.
And I really recommend you do.
ASAP.
You'll get a discount, but you need to sign up ASAP.
Yep. And it's only good through the end of March.
And when you do sign up, look at the information on the site. When you contact the bus company, you must say you're from Expansions, otherwise you're not going to get them.
Or a Swerdlow referral, so that you can get your discounts.
Right.
And then...
And then
be sure you like our Facebook pages, join our membership, because that's where we do a lot of the deeper work. And anything else?
And you will not see me until Easter.
Yeah, we won't be here next week, actually.
No.
Because we're going to go on a secret research.
A secret, mystical, magical
our
research
own thing.
tour.
So we won't be here next week, so be sure and watch this twice, maybe. Because if
yeah,
they can watch it for
twice.
this week, and then they can watch it for next week. Right?
That's true.
That's good. Or watch our Facebook pages. Sometimes we put little things up there that you don't hear anywhere else.
Like vaginal designs and...
You're going to put up yours? Because I think you're gender fluid. I think today you're a female.
Yeah, I took all my parts off today.
Because you're fluid. So we could get a picture of your vagina today, but we have to do it fast before the sun sets, because then guess what? He goes back to being a male. I think.
Yeah, I go back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah. So I mean, you could be a Z or a Phi or a Fae.
Sometimes I'm a dolphin.
Yeah. Happens. Okay.
Anyway, bye for now.
Bye.